What's going on, everybody? And thanks for hanging out with us on Hot 97 News. This is a brand new live news show where we talk about all the biggest stories across the country. It is Tuesday, February 3rd, and I'm your host, Lana Harris, here with Rondell with 2 N's.
You dig?
And Million.
Hey.
And we are so excited to be here per usual, especially because it is still Black History Month.
Black History Month.
And it's going to be Black History Month.
Come on now.
All month. And every day this month, we're starting the show off with 1 minute of Black excellence. And to bring us our 1 minute of Black excellence, here is Rondell with 2 N's.
Yes, this 1 minute Black excellence comes. Maria Van Britton Brown, a Black nurse, invented the first home security system in 1966, including a camera, peepholes, and a monitor, because police response times in her neighborhood were trash. Now, shout out to Miss Brown, because basically she said, look, by the time the cops show up, I done been solved the case. You know what I mean? So basically the first Ring camera was powered by I'm Fed Up. All right?
Amen.
And that has been your 1 minute Black excellence fact.
Okay, right on, brother.
Let's go.
Right on, brother.
You know what? That is actually a crazy story.
It is wild, right?
You know what I mean? The fact that it's true is even crazier, honestly. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I just need the police to come up here.
That's it. I just want y'all to show up. That's it.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing that every day this month because we deserve it. You know, you always hear about Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, great figures, great impact, but there are so many other really cool people to talk about who've done
100%.
amazing things. We want to highlight them because we can.
Hello.
Anyway, speaking of cameras, ICE is now going to be wearing body cams in Minnesota now.
This is good.
This
I like
is a
that.
good development.
I like that. I like that.
Were they not wearing body cams beforehand? Are we?
As
Is
you
that
can
what?
see-
Is that what we're saying right
As
now?
you can see in the Megan Good video, Megan Good shooting,
Renee.
they had it. Renee Good.
Yeah.
Oh, I said Megan Good. My
It's a-
fault.
yeah,
The
we're
Renee
on.
Good. The Renee Good shooting. He had his phone out while he was holding the gun. So it's like, he didn't have a body cam on.
That's wild.
Yeah, so this is a positive development for people who've been just trying to get some structure out there. In fact, Christy Noem said that she talked to Tom Homan, and effective immediately, they're going to be deploying body cameras to every officer in the field in Minneapolis. And remember, Homan was called in to bring some order around here. The former commander out there, Greg Bovino, was politely reassigned after what happened to the protester who was killed by Border Patrol agents. And the scenario was basically painted as being totally different than what we all saw in the video. Kind of looked a little sketch. He was brought back to California where he was before. Tom Homan was told to come into Minneapolis, and here we are.
Yeah.
So this is great.
I think it's a great. I think I did not know that they did not have body cameras on already, bruh. That is wild to me. As an enforcement agent of any sort, why wouldn't that be the first thing that you give people? Bruh, you're about to start picking people up. They didn't think like maybe we should probably give them some. I mean, their name is called ICE agent. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just a branch of a police officer or FBI or anything like that. Why wouldn't you give them? Come on, bro.
Especially because they're masked. You know what I mean? Because there have been legitimate concerns with people who have said, hey, I feel like my rights were violated. And when they say, okay, well, who is the officer?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what he looked like. And he didn't have a badge. He didn't have his name. I literally cannot tell you anything. So the least they could do if they want to keep these officers masked for their own protection, is what they say, then give them all a body camera. So at the very least, you know, there should be footage from somebody who was out there in that area today. Otherwise, you know, all those agents would have just plausible deniability. Wasn't me. How are you going to prove it?
Now, would that money come from the DHS, the government shutdown? How they doing all that? Would that money be put in that bill, or is it coming out of that? Do you think it?
Actually, if you'll bring back up what Christy Noem said about it, you'll note that she said the body camera program will be expanded nationwide as funding is available.
Oh,
So she's saying, like, you know, we do need the money. And that is kind of one of the stick-ups of the government shutdown right now, of like how to fund DHS and how much money they get. And is it going to be, not even how much money they get, just really whether if that money is going to be tied to the guardrails, which included body cameras.
Yeah.
So, you know, maybe that's also an indication of them saying, like, you don't have to shut down the government. You know, we're happy to do some body cameras.
Just give us some body cameras, please. We need them.
Exactly. Yeah. Also, another development. Trump said that he is only going to go into Democrat cities if they say please. Gotta say please. In fact, look at how long this Truth Social post was.
Oh my God.
Damn.
This is the full post. And this is one of those texts I feel like you get, you be like, bro, I'm not reading all that.
Yeah.
I'm not reading all this. So I'm just going to tell you what this says because I don't expect you to read all this either. He basically says he told Kristi Noem, the DHS secretary, not to get involved in protests or riots in Democrat-run cities unless local officials explicitly ask for help, and they do have to say please. So says the True Social post. But he says that the federal government will aggressively defend federal property if it's attacked. He says that he instructed ICE and or Border Patrol to be very forceful in protecting federal property, and said that people who spit on officers, throw rocks or bricks, or attack vehicles will face equal or greater consequences.
So to that, Mr. Trump, I say, please don't come. That's all, Please don't come. There's your please right there. Don't come.
I mean, why do you say that though?
What's the point of coming?
Not to protect.
He's not
but
gonna protect nothing.
To get the illegal citizens out of there. You know what I'm saying?
He's not getting anything out of nothing.
He's not getting anything out of there.
So what are we saying please to?
He's using the ICE agents to do that though.
And so what are we telling him please to do?
Please, we're saying we should be. I think it was a good move by Trump because it's showing that, hey, like we're at this point, if there is something serious that's going on, we'll just have you beg us dang near in order to get us back out there and help you out.
Yeah.
I think it's actually also another point that he's making. I think, I don't really know because you never know what Trump is going to do. But the fact that he's hyper focusing a couple times in that True Social post on it being driven by the local government there, like saying like they have to ask. We will come in when asked. There's been a lot of controversy about that, of Trump saying like, we're going to do this to you. We're going to bring National Guard troops from one state and we're going to send them over there into your state. And people have been like, oh my God, I don't know if he can do this. Now he's saying that he is going to send them in if these local governments ask for it, but also note that if these local governments can't handle the insurrectionists / agitators / anarchists, as he calls them, the federal government will come in when asked and handle it, unless it comes to federal property. I think they can do a lot to protect federal property.
So then, I guess in a sense, then the protest that they was doing actually worked. Like, this is what they was asking for at this point. This is what they was hoping for to get the ICE out of there. He's basically saying, we're get them out of there, right?
ICE isn't leaving.
Yeah. He's not getting rid of ICE. No. He's helping the ICE agents so they won't get beat up or anything. So nothing crazy. He's helping so nothing crazy will happen. You get what I'm saying? But also in that same sense, if he comes in and help, what does his help even look like? We've seen what Trump help looks like. That's kidnapping the president. You dig what I'm saying? So yeah, I just don't understand when he says need my help. We see what your help gets people. I'm okay with I'm okay with him not helping.
He said if needed, the military could be used to protect federal property. And, that's another level. If he means the actual military getting deployed into the streets of America, that would be kind of something that we haven't seen before. In fact, remember they were stationing a bunch of troops in like Alaska, preparing to come here, and everybody was like, "Wait, you're bringing like real like troops, to America?" So we'll see what happens, but I'm hoping that this is them dialing everything back down because it was looking very Civil War-y for a couple of months there.
Yeah. So he's basically saying that there won't be an insurrectionist act that he'll be imposing.
He's saying that I'm gonna let you guys control you guys' area, and if it gets to the point where people are rioting and protesting, you guys need to say please, and then we'll consider, we'll send you guys some help at dispelling all of that.
But also, what type of president even says that to American citizens? Hey, please come help us. No, as a president, you should want to help your people. Am I tripping? Am I tripping? I'm not tripping, am I?
You're not tripping. You're not. But at the same time, he considers what he's doing with the ICE enforcement to be helping American citizens, and other American citizens are having a problem with it. So it just, what do you do?
Okay.
I guess it's just confusing to me because he's saying that I'm gonna have the Democrats say please, but I'm also sending ICE out there, and they're the ones that's allegedly causing all these incidents. So who are they to like? Who does he want to say please? He wants ICE to say please, or he wants the citizens to say please? He
wants the local government.
Yeah.
So like, let's say something pops off in Minnesota and people are out there destroying buildings and doing whatever. Trump is saying, like, okay, if you guys end up needing some help in squashing all of this, you got to come say please, and we'll come help you out. But I took this to mean maybe he's not going to be imposing the National Guard or just any forces on cities to squash protests. And he's going to let these Democrat-run cities figure it out unless they explicitly ask for help.
This is the wildest thing ever, bro. The wildest stuff ever.
Crazy.
Please, Mr. President, will you come give us some help, please? No,
I just
that's
don't
so wild.
I just don't see him even going out there to even help them in general.
Exactly.
Because, like I said, they're doing what he's already ordered them to do. So how is he going to help the Democrats? I know he ain't going to help the Democrats.
He's talking about Democrat-run cities specifically because he is saying that this doesn't happen in Republican-run cities. So in Republican-run cities, ICE comes in, they do what they need to do, they get out, there's no muss, there's no fuss. In Democrat-run cities, it becomes protests and destruction and riots in his mind, and that's what he's saying, like, okay, if y'all start losing buildings and having destruction, say please and we'll come help.
Because we were fine. I don't think they realized that we were fine. We were perfect. I don't think it was I don't see too many illegal immigrants that do too much crime, in my opinion. I don't see that. That I have yet to see too much of that, in my opinion. I don't know about you guys, but I don't see too much of that. But we were fine. Even with them here, we're fine. I don't think they made too much of a problem for my life. If anything, made it better. Love a good taco.
I think that there's an argument to be made really on both sides because we have seen big devastating cases involving illegal immigrants, but we've also seen big devastating cases involving American citizens.
For sure.
Involving crime against American citizens. So there are a lot of people who are saying we want all of those illegal criminals out of here and we don't want them committing crime here. Other people would say we just don't want illegal immigrants here taking jobs from Americans. If there are trucking jobs that people are coming in and offering to do the job at way less of a rate, and they're basically beating out regular Americans for the jobs who are trying to, get a wage that they can actually live here and survive here on, then it's like, okay, we want them out of here too. Other people are saying these people come in, they do a great job. A lot of them don't harm anybody. They're sweeping up grandmas and kids and people that we just did not mean to be swept up and hogtied in the street like this. So, I think that it just depends on where you sit, Everybody's got a little roving opinion there.
Yeah, they do.
But we try to be fair here. So we got a lot of things to talk about on the national stage as well. Because, it's just never a dull moment around here.
Never a dull moment.
Never a dull moment.
Never a dull moment with the national, bro.
It just seems like, I don't know, are y'all not bored of just constantly being in beefs with people? You know what I mean? It's pretty nuts. But a lot
That's
of people...
your president.
That's our president.
That's your president.
That's our
Always
president.
beefing. Always
That's
beefing.
It's our president.
It's our president.
I'm scared though. I can't even lie.
It's your
I'm
president.
like when we start breaking these things down though. I am kind of scared because it's like Trump. DT, I thought you said and you promised that you was gonna have us focus on the nation, focus on America.
Oh,
and
yes.
For us to be doing all these foreign policies or implementing foreign policies around the world, you lied to the people. You lied to your supporters. I didn't vote for him. I couldn't vote against a black woman, but you know what I'm saying? But I still feel lied to.
Yeah. A lot of people feel like that. Like, they thought that he was going to focus on internal issues, the economy, bringing manufacturing jobs back here to America, prioritizing American businesses. All this foreign affairs we're seeing literally every day is like, hold on, what? And a lot of people were wondering what could possibly be next after the United States snatched up the Venezuelan president in the middle of the night and then took control of their oil. And then we also know they just sent a bigger armada than they sent to Venezuela to the Middle East to pressure Iran. And apparently Cuba is now next. My neck hurts.
Yeah, I was about to say that's so much.
From just how much, you're just constantly spinning, trying to keep up with all this. So on January 29th, President Trump actually signed an executive order setting new tariffs on goods from any country supplying oil to Cuba effective the next day, January 30th. So he basically is trying to punish anybody helping Cuba keep their lights on. Cuba's economy runs on imported fuel. So they regularly have these energy shortages and mass blackouts, and they rely heavily on people sending them in oil. And Venezuela was doing that, to a big degree. And that was to help meet their demand for electricity generation, gasoline, aviation fuel, all that stuff. So the thought was that if you squeeze the fuel, you kind of squeeze everything else that Cuba depends on in the country. So Venezuela used to send oil to Cuba, but that's gone now because the U.S. captured Maduro. So now the Cuban leader's been kind of scrambling to figure out what to do and where to get the oil from. And Mexico has been helping them out. So what Trump is now saying, we're going to put tariffs on literally anybody who's helping Cuba out with the oil situation. Cough, cough. You guys, Mexico, they're now the single largest supplier of oil to Cuba. So along with this kind of tariff threat forcing their hand, Trump said that Mexico is going to cease sending oil to them. And I don't know if Mexico's going to comply with that. I do know that their president, I think her name is Claudia Sheinbaum, she was saying that she was going to send humanitarian aid to Cuba, like food and other just humanitarian aid. But I don't know if she's going to comply with this oil thing or not. But it is interesting.
Yeah, Cuba's not no very rich country. Cuba's like what? Very poor country. Am I correct on this one? Cuba's not like, I wouldn't say it's third world, but it's not like super. It's not a Venezuela or a Mexico.
I don't know actually about their economy.
Cuba is toe up to the floor.
Is it?
Yeah. From what I've seen from the documents and from all the documentaries that I've been looking at, it looks so bad.
It's bad, right?
Yeah.
So this is a punk move in my opinion, bro. Like you big bad bully, but you bullying it's like being a high school kid bullying the elementary school kid. You know what I'm saying? Like you big bad bully you bullying the wrong person. You dig what I'm saying? Like I don't get that bully mentality that he has to go like for what? What is the purpose of bullying this country?
There was do you remember when there was a travel ban on Cuba?
A huge one. I couldn't even. Yeah,
nobody could go to Cuba.
Yes,
and then like the Kardashians went when it lifted. So I was just wondering, like, is it like a crappy little country, or do they have some degree of riches and finery? We know that there are Cuban cigars.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
They have resorts out there. But I mean, like I said, a vast majority of the Cubans actually are living in almost, it looks, again, you never know. What I learned is like, you never know some of these reportings, if they're 100% accurate or if they're just going to a specific area. But man, it looks really bad out there. It looks really bad. Now, to your point though, Dale, this is like kind of like the official statements that people are putting out there saying this is why we may be doing dealings with Cuba. They're saying that it has strategic location. It's 90 miles from Florida. We've already heard strategic location when we talked about Greenland. So it makes me wonder, is it like, are we trying to get this whole Western hemisphere or something?
Some people actually think that that's a plot, going on right now. But they'll never say that out loud. They'll say it's drugs and security. And you know what I mean? It's like, it's always some other old reason. But as far as what Trump has said, he declared a national emergency over Cuba's ties to U.S. adversaries. So he's kind of painting Cuba as an unusual and extraordinary threat and accusing them of basically aligning with hostile actors and hosting major Russian intelligence capabilities and having ties to groups like Hezbollah and Hamas, which are U.S. designated terror groups.
When I heard that, it threw me off. How is Hamas rich enough to do dealings?
Hamas is everywhere.
That's what I'm saying.
Hamas is everywhere.
Everywhere. How is Hamas rich enough to do dealings in Cuba? It's so contradictory to me. Another thing so they're saying that they're doing it because they've been working with other people.
That they work with U.S. adversaries, and actually we have a quote from Trump talking about this.
Well, Cuba's a failing nation. It has been for a long time, but now it doesn't have Venezuela to prop it up. I think we're going to make a deal with Cuba.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means by deal with Cuba, because I don't really know what they want from them. I just see them really being squeezed. Like if I'm saying, you guys are a terrible country and you guys are working with U.S. adversaries, and I would like for you to just stop working with I don't know what the ask is here, but they are saying Trump, in fact, predicted that this regime was going to collapse in the oil crisis, that we are helping bring about by saying we're going to tariff literally anybody who brings them oil. So they're saying, yes, the regime is going to collapse amid this oil crisis because they stopped getting it from Venezuela. Mexico looks to be right behind it. There's already been U.S. sanctions, and there's already been an economic crisis happening there. And so they are hoping. I mean, I don't even know what the goal is.
Yeah. See,
It's
that's
so
my
crazy.
thing. What's going
so
on?
crazy. Another thing that I could possibly see is like America trying to send a message to those other countries that's doing dealings with them. Iran, Russia, basically sending that message like, look, y'all, if you defy us, we can isolate you. We can make it so that you do not have any dealings with any other country. That's why that's the only thing that I could possibly see us really gaining from this whole entire situation, because we have been seeing China, Russia, at one point Venezuela doing dealings with Cuba heavily. Those are our adversaries. So that's why it's like one of those things, like we see that y'all are getting too close to America. And we're going to let you know right here and now, we could do what we want in this Western hemisphere.
So I just looked this up, and I do know that there are some people who would say that the regime is oppressive. You know what I mean? But that just means less and less to me these days, because we're just hearing that the regime is oppressive everywhere. Yeah. People think Trump is oppressive.
Yeah.
Some people think Trump is amazing. You know what I mean? It's like, who are you asking? Who are you talking to? But it says that Trump is seeking / pressuring Cuba to do a whole host of things. And that's, I'll just read off a couple. Accept deportees, stop harboring U.S. fugitives, boost a non-state private sector, which means a private sector independent of the government control, make political and rights concessions like reducing repression, addressing unlawful detentions, and just broader human rights reforms, and security / law enforcement cooperation, and the end of state sponsor of terrorism posture. The administration keeps Cuba on the state sponsor of terror list and ties tougher measures to that justification. So there's a few things, but I mean, I don't know.
It's so weird because Cuba, like I said, Cuba is like terrible. There's no major oil reserves. There's no rare earth materials out there for real, and there's no strategic commodities like that we need. So it's like I don't see it right now, but dang, this is a theory. I'm seeing what happened with Gaza. Maybe we want resorts in Cuba. Maybe we want resorts.
You think they're trying to knock down some stuff?
We gonna knock down some more stuff and start building things up, man. It's like there's no real reason of us doing this for real.
That's what I'm saying. It's a bully. This is a bully concept, bro. You're bullying a child.
Yeah.
Like literally, you're bullying a child. For what reason?
These countries consider this to be imperialism. You know what I mean? Like that this is just a bigger country with the guns and the military to do whatever they want. The U.S. considers this national security and foreign policy. So it's hard to see all of this and just not know where to land in your viewpoints, because it's like, I'm pro-America. I want the best for America no matter what. But I also have morals. You know what I mean? And I just have a guide, I guess, in my head that tells me like what's right and what's wrong. And some of this stuff does kind of look like bullying a little bit.
Yeah, and I have morals too, unless it's like something where I see that it's like we could get some really good strategic advantage out of this. And I'm just not seeing it, y'all. Just not seeing it. It's not like they have oil reserves like crazy like Venezuela did. So I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. And we'll do some more digging. We'll follow that for you guys. In the meantime, we also saw that there was a Russian jet that landed there in Cuba. And honestly, this is not really something super splashy, I would say, because nobody really knows what they did there, like what they dropped off, if they dropped off anything. But what people noted was that they are showing that Russia can still maneuver their way around and get to Cuba, because they had to go like through Africa, through the Dominican Republic, and then get to Cuba. And it basically showed what countries are still working with Russia in this effort. And this is a very similar path that they took to get to Venezuela right before Maduro got captured. So nobody really knows what this is about. Obviously, Russia didn't stop him from getting captured. So, you know, we have our eye on all this stuff.
Facts.
Really quickly, I also have an update in the Israel and Gaza situation. So there is a Rafa crossing that just reopened. I think it was Sunday, a couple days ago. And this is finally going to let people who are sick and wounded in Gaza cross over into Rafa. And it's been closed all this time. They basically said that they weren't going to reopen it until the last hostage was released from that area. That's what they've been waiting on. And that finally just happened, I think, a week ago. So now they're letting like 50 people who are sick or wounded and like one or two family members or people close to them go into Rafa to get treatment. And I believe they're also letting 50 people cross into Gaza who have just been waiting to get in since the war. So there's reportedly like 20,000 people who are sick or wounded and need help. So some people say like 50 is not enough. You know, we got to really open this thing up, but other people are happy that it's just happening at all.
Yeah. Especially when we've seen just how Israel has kind of just taken control of that whole Gaza Strip. So giving them access to getting some sort of help is amazing.
Yeah, some Palestinians reportedly think that they are getting a lifeline to the world, but the people who are sick and wounded there, I think, is a bigger story than it's really being reported right now, I would say, because there is a group that is saying they've been doing a lot of work trying to care for people out there. And they're actually getting the boot because they're saying that Israel needs them to basically give them a list of the people who are working with them, the names and just information about them. And these humanitarian groups are saying, hey, we don't want to compromise our people like that. So we can't just give you a list of them. Israel's side is saying, we want to make sure there are no terrorists in the groups. And, it is what it is. It's for security and transparency. These humanitarian groups are saying, we're not going to just put a target on our people's back like this. So we can't give you this list. So now 37 humanitarian groups are actually getting kicked out of the area. And they've been helping a lot of people out there. So we have our eye on that story as well. But we do have to go to break. And we will be right back. Welcome back to Hot 97 News. We got to get back into these Epstein files only because there are legitimate developments. And the one that everybody's talking about today is that the Clintons have agreed to testify in the House Epstein investigation ahead of the contempt of Congress vote. They're about to be held in contempt of Congress because they were supposed to show up, because they were subpoenaed to show up to testify about their relations with Jeffrey Epstein, and they didn't. And so now they're saying, okay, we will testify.
That's good. That's good. It sounds like they was about to testify because they might have went to jail or something. They would have been held accountable for real if they pull up. Nah. You don't think they would have ever went to jail?
Nah, I think it's deeper than that, bro. I think it's deeper than why they coming in now. It's like, either something's in them files that I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know, but knowing Clinton, they stood 10 toes down of not coming in. Why would they come in now? Something's going on.
Not only that, but Clinton has said, or their spokesperson, I can't remember who it was, who said something to the effect of, if you want to drop some of these files, make sure you drop all of them. As if we know that this is not it. Because we know what should be in there. That's how I took it. Now, I will say that Republican Representative James Comer said that there's no formal agreement yet. Nothing's in writing. There's no date that's been set. But the Clintons' attorney says that they are going to appear for their depositions on just a date that both sides agree to. So some people just don't believe it yet. This could just be talking. Other people say, okay, it's great. The Clintons are basically saying, we are going to be the example of people who are not afraid to come up and talk to Congress about what we know about Jeffrey Epstein because we're innocent. So,
That's what you call getting in front of it before it happens. That's what you call getting in front of it before it happened. Before your name gets slandered, let me go ahead and get in front of it and tell my truth real quick, and then we gonna let everything else happen. But yeah, that is getting in front of it.
See, I took it as like they're in a burning building and they just said, you know what? Since it's already burning, we're going to burn this whole thing down.
Yeah.
We're going to burn this whole swamp down. I'm not going to be the only one to get taken down because of it.
Listen, because if they are under oath and they just happen to drop some names under oath. I mean, like, they could blow it all up if they actually know something. You know, of course, they claim they're innocent of anything, and there's nothing here, and this is just a witch hunt on them. So yeah, go under oath and talk about it. I think that's great. Grill them. Grill all these people. You know what I mean? And if they're innocent, then they're going to be innocent. But I don't think anybody should shy away from an investigation. I will say, if it were me who were being accused of these kind of allegations, I'd be running to the nearest television to tell everything I know. Running to the nearest, Bible to put my hand down to tell everything I know. The fact that this has gotten so messy is like, who are you people protecting?
Right. Who are you protecting? And that's the real question that I've had to just sit and look at, because when they're saying that it's a witch hunt and they're being targeted, Trump was in those files too. So who is the people that need to be held accountable? Is it just Trump? No. Is it just the Gates, or is it the rich? That's the people that's being targeted right now.
All three.
Or is it all of the above? And that's where, I always hated the argument that if there were anything in the files, the Democrats would have been used it on Trump. I think they're all in there. I think, like, literally
everybody,
people from both parties, this is mutually assured destruction if we expose Trump. So we're going to expose nobody. I think this just dropped and I don't know, it's become kind of like a bomb on them. I don't even think they ever thought this was going to happen in this way, because remember, this all kind of got started because there was a group of there's a group of lawmakers who basically had to sign a petition that said, hey, we want to talk about this. You guys will not bring a bill to the floor to talk about releasing these Epstein files. So we're going to all get together in a bipartisan way and sign a petition that we are going to force us to vote on this. And even then, it just seemed like it wasn't going to make it to, through both houses. It wasn't going to make it to the Senate. It wasn't going to make it through the House. Wasn't going to get signed by the president. But then it was. And it was like, oh, okay, so they're really doing this. And then the date went by. December 19th, they're supposed to drop all the files. They dropped like 1% of them and then didn't give us anything else for weeks. And everybody's like, this is illegal. Why does nobody have to obey the law around here? So then they just randomly dropped 3.5 million files on Friday. And they've claimed this whole time that the delay has been because they were diligently going through and redacting victims' personal sensitive information. Lo and behold, victims are saying that there are dozens of nude photos unredacted in the files right now.
That's sick. That is sick.
Bro.
Sick, bruh. That is sick, dog.
So what have y'all been doing this whole time if you dropped 3.5 million files and there's still allegedly nude photos getting dropped, names getting dropped? I mean, this is, according to the New York Times, Justice Department published dozens of unredacted nude images on its website showing young women or possibly teenagers, according to the New York Times, whose photos were contained in the files. What have you guys been doing?
Oh, that's so sick.
It's crazy.
That's so sick.
It's not clear whether they're minors or not. According to this article, they say that the people in the photos appeared to be young. Some images reportedly seem to show the private island of Jeffrey Epstein, including a beach. Others images that they say were taken in bedrooms and other just private spaces. And this was not supposed to happen. A Justice Department spokeswoman said that they were working around the clock to address any victim concerns and additional redactions of any personally identifiable information.
You couldn't have.
What have you guys been doing?
Couldn't have. You couldn't have if you let this slip through. Bro, you're talking about Epstein. You're not talking about no regular files today.
Yeah.
This should have been taken so seriously to the point where y'all should have been stayed up for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days trying to make sure things was perfect. Bro, y'all are creating issues that don't need to be created. All we wanted to see, and I'm saying we as in, the people.
Yeah.
We just wanted to see what was in these because we deserve to see who is leading our country.
Yes.
These are the sick people that are leading our country. What have they been doing for the past some years? Like, what have they been doing? So y'all had one job and all y'all had to do was literally take the time. And I'm not even saying that from a viewer standpoint. I'm saying it from a victim standpoint.
Yeah.
Bro, you got people that came and they wanted to read these too. And they had to reread and be like, oh snap, that's me.
That's me.
Oh my God, that's me. Imagine one of those victims opening up the files and they seeing themselves in that file, bro. Like, and then every single memory comes back.
Or their family and friends.
Come on, man.
Is this you?
Come on, man.
And then oh my God. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, they released 2,000 videos, 180,000 images. The Justice Department said that a team of more than 500 lawyers and reviewers were poring over all of this. Remember, that's kind of the excuse a lot of people were giving them. Oh, you know, they got to redact things and they got to make sure it's all clear to protect the victims. And it's like, how do we know that they were actually really caring so much about the victims versus all the other powerful people who are potentially in here? How is nobody going to jail? That's why I really don't understand about the Clintons. What are the Clintons showing up to testify about? Nobody's going to jail. They already looked through all the files and said, nothing to see here, nothing to prosecute here. So what are the Clintons doing testify about what? They've already got the files and said that there's nothing. I mean, what are we doing here? Wasting a morning?
Yeah, unless they go up there and say some like the most craziest things that we haven't heard, like, oh, this happened. I bet y'all ain't know this about the files. I bet y'all, unless they go up there and say that, who gives?
Yeah.
Like, who gives? Nobody cares, bruh. Nobody cares. We want to know what's really going on. I'm sick of living in the world. I think we live in this world now. Oh man, none of this matters. No, dog, I've been working on this show for the past month. I'm starting to realize that all this stuff matters.
Yes.
All of it matters. It matters. What we do, what these people are doing behind these scenes, it matters, bruh. It matters a lot. So we want to know. All I'm saying is we want to know.
Because you guys are potentially making the rules for the rest of us.
Come on, bro.
We got to abide by this stuff. You know, there was even somebody in Norway. The Norway crown princess is getting some scrutiny over the fact that her name was reportedly mentioned hundreds of times. And I looked into this story, and it turns out that her son is facing charges in part for rape. It's like, who are these people who are like the richest and most powerful among us in all these countries? And this is why I thought they didn't want these files coming out. And when he said, you know, good people might be getting hurt, people all around the world who are in these circles with the uber rich and powerful could potentially be in these files. It's crazy.
It makes me wonder, is it that money makes people sick, or are sick people making money? Because I wonder, I just think like these are things that they're, you know, bringing to light now, and, you know, they're facing public scrutiny for, because they're famous, but there's people that commit these acts on a constant basis that are just regular citizens. Granted, we're held to a standard because we're lesser than, so we may not be able to get away with so much. But it makes me wonder, is it like the riches that's making people so evil?
No.
Or you don't think so?
Nah,
when
man.
you have the ability to do whatever you want, it's like, hey, and then I could pay it off also.
Yeah.
It's like nobody can really stop me.
Now, to that, yes and no. These people have had problems before the money. I'm going to let you know that they've been sick before. The money just enhanced the sickness. Like, once you get a certain amount of money, like you said, nothing can stop you. Money buys everything.
Yeah.
Money buys freedom. Money buys this. Money buys every single thing. So once you become untouchable, you can do anything. That's a God mentality, bruh. These folks have a God mentality. That's why they did allegedly the things they did on this island, because they had a God mentality. Why you taking pictures like this in front of the camera? Hey, you see me? I got God. Can't nobody touch me. I'm untouchable, bruh. I'm untouchable. Yeah. So yeah, they're sick, and then they get money, and then they get really sick. Like,
I think you said it perfectly, that it allows you to pay off anything I do. Like, I can probably get away with it. My mom can pay it off, or I can pay it off. Dad's going to handle it. And when you're in that kind of a world, that's a different world than we live in. You know what I mean? Because that's their everyday. So if I know I can do literally anything and probably get away with it, then just whatever your evilest desires, it could just play out.
Just do it.
You could either be the best version of yourself or the worst version of yourself. And we're seeing, you know, allegations that a lot of people are choosing worse. And the redactions, I think that's going to be a bigger story going forward, especially because there were weird redactions. Like President Trump's face was redacted. Allegedly, this is a report that a lot of different news outlets picked up on. This is from the Daily Beast. They took a screenshot. This was a text exchange between two people, and in the files, allegedly, according to several news outlets, including the Daily Beast, who screenshotted this, Trump's face was initially redacted. I went and looked up the exact file, and I saw this is what it's supposed to look like. So I don't know if they went back and changed it, because they have been doing that. People have been saying, hey, I'm seeing names in there. This should be redacted. Remember last time there was a photo of Trump in the files during the first drop that disappeared over the weekend, and then they put it back. So, I mean, I don't know what these people are doing or why they broke the law just to drop a bunch of files that weren't redacted correctly anyway.
And then they took 40 days to do it.
Bro, don't even make no sense, bro.
It's so crazy. It's messy, and it really just shows like the government isn't as on top of things as we like to think they are. Like, these institutions that we trust are human. They are messy also. They're going to mess up too.
Yes, a lot of people have been questioning our government, but on both sides. You know what I mean? Like, neither side is just absolved of all anything, you know? Like, where people say it's all on the right, it's all on the left. No, there are some problems that I feel like we could address as people to just hold our government accountable. Like, that's, I think, the most American thing that we can do, because we believe in this country and we love this country. We want to be here. We want the best for it. So, I mean, there's that. And we also have Nicki Minaj's ex rants going viral right now. The question is she exposing what needs to be exposed, or is she crashing out? Crashing out is what the younger generation says when they basically mean that somebody's having a meltdown. You think she's crashing out?
She's crashed out. She's crashed out.
This is one post that she said. She said, your favorite artist has been practicing rituals in a satanic cult where they take babies from other countries and, harm them as a form of blood sacrifice to their God. You see, when your master is Satan, you must constantly shed blood. However, the jig is up. This is all I should say in a response, in a way, to everything we're seeing with the Epstein files. That's why we're talking about this. And after it was noted that Jay-Z was mentioned in the files, even though Jay-Z didn't respond to it, and people are kind of questioning whether that's valid or not, because remember, the DOJ said not everything that we see in these files are legitimate. Some of it can just be random FBI tips from a random person that has zero legitimacy to it, or it could be real. We don't know. They didn't give us any evidence. But Jay-Z's name did come up, and she started talking about Jay-Z. And in fact, the first thing she did was post, actually, I don't know what was first, but she posted a picture of Jay-Z and his alleged illegitimate son. This is the guy who had the claims.
That's been proven wrong, though. That whole case has been out. Yeah.
They look just alike.
That whole case is done.
They look just alike.
That case is done. She posts this, and then she'd also posted some pictures with Jay-Z and Aaliyah and Jay-Z and Beyonce, noting their ages. There's like a 10 or so year difference between both of them. So they were basically saying that Jay-Z was around 26 at the time that Aaliyah would have been like 16. And Beyonce would have been, they're both under 18. I don't know the ages, but he was over 25 and they were under 18. And she's saying, imagine if a 30-year-old rapper was out here with a 16-year-old in this day and age, and how y'all would have had his head on a platter. And I don't know who she's talking about. Is she talking about, I don't even want to name names, but she's been posting all these pictures in relation to the Epstein files. And people are just kind of running wild with what they think she's saying.
Nicki, this has been done before. Kanye's already done this, okay? He's already been on his rant. We don't need it from you, all right? We've seen this happen before, Nicki. This is nothing new, okay? You need to go crash out on your husband and your brother.
And why do you say that?
Because both of them have been not. This is no alleged, because her brother is in prison as of now for child pedophilia and all that. So these are cases that are done because they have been served. So Nicki, you need to crash out on some other things and start worrying about everybody else. You need to crash out on Turning Point USA because they didn't choose you for the little alternative Super Bowl concert. You should have been the headliner. Because ain't you cool with Erica Kirk? Ain't you so cool with Erica Kirk? Why they ain't pick you to do the headline of the show? Because they don't rock with you like that. You're black. They don't rock with you like that. I told you that, dog.
Look, and a lot of people were pointing that out as well. Like, how can Nicki be pointing all these fingers at all these people? She has no real proof. At least she hasn't dropped any real proof. Because if she's been in a room to see anything, I don't know the FBI having that information. I don't know what police she's reported it to. And people have noted the people that's around her and her family and who she's married to are dancing around some of these same allegations.
Come on now.
What are we doing?
Come on now.
What is this?
She's a hypocrite. She's a hypocrite because, like you said, so I looked up some of the cases that her husband actually did get into. So he was involved and convicted of attempted with a 16-year-old.
Attempted what?
Attempted rape with a 16-year-old, and then convicted of manslaughter also in 2002. You're claiming that these people are messing with underage women, but you're also married to that guy.
Come on now, brother.
You're also married to that guy. So can we believe you? Can we trust you, Nicki Minaj? Can we say that you're actually here for the people when you're sleeping in bed with one, when your husband is one? Who do we believe? I wouldn't believe her.
I don't know who to believe, because I've actually heard some of those claims that she mentioned there from other people who legitimately feel specifically that the Democrats are involved in this stuff. And it's in a different post. I didn't want this to get too political because it was already, weird. But she accuses, and people have accused of the Democrats of being basically implicated in all these things. Oh, I guess I did. Any Christian who votes Democrat again is a fool. They're showing people that it's okay to disrupt a church during worship, which is what happened in Minnesota. This is how they truly feel about you. The veil is lifted. No morals, no integrity. It's not enough for them to have an opinion. They've escalated to physical intrusion of places of worship. The demons inside of them are so bothered all the time. Now, that is a milder tweet, X-post, based on like the rest of what she was saying about the Democrats. But no, I mean, it's just, I know Democrats who are not demon, non-Christian, baby killer, whatever we're talking about here. So to put any whole group into these bubbles is just, it's just stoking division for no reason. If there are people who are Democrats who are bad, let's talk about that. If there are people who are Republicans who are bad, let's talk about that. It's not all the Republicans.
No.
It's not all the Democrats. It's just not, that's objective truth there. So like, they're just trying to piss people off with this stuff, I think.
Yeah, you sit there and for her to even like put it on the Democrats when the president you was just talking in front of, shaking hands with, holding hands with, was also in those same files.
Yeah.
Nicki Minaj, you are so contradictory. That's why I said this lady probably is just going through a mental breakdown or something. She's losing her marbles.
Manic. That's what we call a manic episode.
And we don't know.
Yeah, we ain't no medical professionals at all.
I'm not saying that she is. I'm just saying that's what I've had them, so I know what they look like. So you know what I'm saying?
She would say that she would probably say that she's breaking free from what she felt like was constraining her before, because she's openly said, like, you're allowed to change your mind. Like, you should all know, no matter what happens in life, you're allowed to change your mind. And she's allowed to change her mind. Like, if she really is just a full-on Trump's biggest supporter in the history of support, I don't care. Go support Trump. I don't care. You know what I mean? But like, if you're gonna say some of this stuff, come with receipts. Y'all remember when Cat Williams was talking last year, and he was like, "These are the names that I have heard. These people are going to start to roll." It was more than just, I got some intel on people, and I know it, and you don't. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Well, okay. Okay. I mean, like, so I don't know.
And Cat was right too.
Boy.
That Shannon Sharp interview, boy, Cat was right.
I don't know what he summoned, but like he unleashed something crazy.
I'm talking about the universe said, you know what? We do need to start letting this out. We do need to start letting this out. Did he? Man, I said, oh my God.
What are the odds?
Bro, he been saying all this.
Yes.
Say, is Cat a prophet?
Boy.
Cat is a prophet.
Boy.
What?
You should go watch that Shannon Sharp interview. It aged very well.
Very well.
You know what I mean?
Very.
Boy. Okay, so we're not going back to the moon this month anymore.
Oh, shocking.
You guys.
Like, were we ever going to the moon?
We were going to go to the moon.
Well, did we ever go to the moon?
We were going to go this month, in fact. So the whole mission got scrapped. This was the NASA Artemis moon mission, and it was delayed at least until March. So they still plan to go to the moon. If all went according to plan, they were supposed to go as early as this Sunday. But during the dress rehearsal, they had a hydrogen leak. They do dress rehearsals and whatnot. And so that happened while they were fueling, and they had some other issues. So what I think is the craziest is the crew that's been in quarantine since January 23rd for this is going to have to go home and then go back into quarantine closer to the real date. They literally like isolated from all their friends and family. They have to go in because they don't want them to get sick.
Yeah.
So for 2 weeks or so from when they think they're going to launch. They got to just stay like totally isolated. So now it's like, all right, sorry.
The studio sounded like it wasn't built yet. That's what it sounded like. The studio. The studio sounded like it was not built yet. Sounded like it was still trying to put little craters in the moon. Some paint was a little chipping. It sounded like the studio wasn't fixed. That's what it sounded like.
You do not believe it at all. It was the moon.
No, not by any means.
I don't know, y'all. Come on now. I think that they. I think it sounded legit. I think it sounded legit.
You can't even say that with a straight face.
I think it sounded legit, man. I said it. I think it sounded legit. Let's trust because our tax dollars is going to some of this.
Yeah.
To something.
Yeah. It's going to Paramount Studios. Your tax dollars are going to Paramount Studios. That's where it's going.
Well, we were supposed to not go land on the moon, that we were going to go fly around it, basically. And we were going to see a dark side of the moon. Well, not we. They were going to go swing around the far side of the moon, the side that you can't see from Earth. But now that has been delayed at least until March.
Well,
so we going to get it still, right?
Yes, we are.
We going to get it still.
How long does it take for that to happen? Let me just look. How long does it take for you to see the other side of the moon? How long does it take? Because I want to know that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that
it's got to be a couple days for
Let's
sure.
see. Because they leave in March. They leave in March.
Yes.
Probably like a month or two.
So it's like 3 months. 3 months.
Is it 3 months?
3 months. 3 months.
That is interesting because remember those people got stranded in space for like 8 months.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
It was 8 or 9 months, however long it was. They were stranded. And that's what I was thinking. Now, how did you guys have enough food? Or I wonder if in their crisis planning, they say, well, let's just put in like a lot of extra food.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because how did you guys sustain yourselves based on thinking the mission is going to be over on this date and now it's over? I have questions.
Yeah, the producer walked in, gave him a couple extra meals, and then he said, "Hey, y'all good? Let me close the door." All right, guys, we're gonna turn gravity off again. Hold on.
Wait. So, do you not think that the moon is real? Do you not think that we're able to go to space? Do you think that space is real?
I think all of that is real. Do I think we're going to space in the moon like that? No, bruh. I don't think we're going to space in the moon like they say all the time. No.
So, when you heard them stuck in space, you thought they was just stuck at a studio?
We don't know where they were
They
stuck
was just
at.
chilling.
We don't know where they were stuck at.
Come on, y'all.
Or
We don't
if
know
they
where
were stuck at all.
We don't know where they were stuck at, dog. We don't have the ability as regular humans to even go. We don't. They can tell us whatever because we on Earth. We on the ground. They can say they can say when they in the skies and all, bro. We don't know. We don't know, man. We don't know until I go to space myself and then I see it myself. That's when I'll be like, okay, cool. I can agree. But until then, did you?
I think we've been to space. I think that there are definitely satellites orbiting in space. I think that there has
for
been.
sure.
But I do think it's interesting that no matter what happens on Earth, we have an international space station where we work with like Russia. The U.S. is there. I think who else is there? Japan, maybe. I can't remember what all countries are involved with the International Space Station. But the fact that we can have so much beef and war down here and still work together, reportedly in Antarctica and work together in space, it's like. That's interesting. We're like brutal enemies. We're like going into all these countries because, you're the big bad enemy, but we're working together. I don't know. Foreign relations are very interesting when you really look into it.
Yeah.
Doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
But I will say, just to round this thing out and something nice. Ye, formerly Kanye West, just sold out his first Mexico show with his daughter, Northwest.
Yeah, big Kanye fan. Shout out to Kanye. Huge Kanye fan.
He just recently apologized for everything he said that was harmful to the Jewish community, and he is now, back in these streets trying to perform. And I think that's so sweet that he has his daughter, who's just like, he spit her out as far as personality goes, from what I can tell. She's got some sass to her. That's very Kanye.
Kanye's liberated.
Well, that is going to do it for this hour, but do not go anywhere, folks. We have a lot coming at you in the Atlanta Hour. We're going to be right back.